All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to Second City Sports. It's been a while since I said that. Just a quick update on the channel and stuff. I started a new job. That's kind of why I haven't been uploading as much. Also, if you still want to see like my content and stuff, I've actually been doing a lot of writing for DraftPros.com. Great website. It's run by the prospect Don. He's one of the best Blackhawks dudes on Twitter, NHL dudes on Twitter. So definitely go check out his website. I'll put a link to my stuff on the website as well as just the website in general in the description. But anyway, just getting into the video, um, I just wanted to do some quarter season grades or kind of a tier list type of thing just to see how the boys have been doing. Obviously, this year the team has been a lot better than the past few years. Still not great, but genuinely fun to watch most nights now. So that's good step forward. Anyway, just to get it started, we're going to get the two obvious ones out of the way. Bedard and Spencer Knight are both going to go into S tier to start the season. Bedard has 31 points in 22 games, I believe. He's been phenomenal. He's improved pretty much every aspect of his game, from mostly his skating and his ability to help on defense. He's still not a great defensive player by any means, but he's trying at least on that side of the ice a lot more now, and it's good to see. He's also developed a bit of an edge to his game too. The other night against I forgot who they were even playing, but he had that penalty where he was clearly hooked or slashed, whatever you want to call it, and the ref didn't see it on the breakaway, of course, and he just skated over to the ref and was like, "What the fuck are you doing, fucking idiot?" Like, yeah, obviously he can't be doing stuff like that every night because that would get old really quick. But I thought it was great for that one time, um, because he was 100% correct. That should have been a penalty, and it cost the Blackhawks the game. But regardless, and there's other stuff to it too. Like when there's scrums, he's not just skating away, trying to get away from it. He's fighting back and stuff, and that's all good to see. The offense has always been there. He hasn't really had the teammates to show it off, but now, Burakovsky, Bertuzzi, they've done solid jobs, and we'll see where they place in this tier list. But I think that's enough about Connor Bedard. He's been great. I think he's been the team's best player. The only one who can really challenge him for that is the guy next to him, and Spencer Knight. Spencer Knight has been one of the best goalies in the league to start the season. There's no way around it. I think he was number one for a while, and expected goals saved and stuff like that. And I mean, he has kept the team in so many games that they should have either been losing or gotten blown out. And he has been a brick wall for the Blackhawks, and I'm glad that you know, as much as I was mad at Seth Jones at the time, and I still am to a point. It's a trade that has seemingly worked out for both teams. Florida obviously got another cup, and we got our goalie of the present and the future, and we got a draft pick on top of it, which might actually turn out to be a pretty good draft pick. So I think it's a win-win for both teams, and Spencer Knight has been great so far in Chicago. Next up, we have Tyler Bertuzzi. I'm going to put him in A tier. He's had a great start to the season, just scoring goals, being, as the ringside general likes to say, he's a human backboard. Um, he's done what he uh, was kind of struggling to do last year, and I know Bertuzzi has the reputation of getting off to slow starts, but that has just not been the case this year. The only thing that's kind of slow, he's missed a couple of games due to injuries and stuff, but he has been phenomenal when he's been healthy for the Blackhawks. Uh, it's starting to look like we actually got a really good player as opposed to just kind of a just a guy who was just kind of skating around at times last year. So that's good to see. We are going to also put Andrei Burakovsky in A tier. Again, he's missed a couple of games due to injuries. Also, he had, I think, another daughter, so congratulations to him, or his first daughter. So he missed the game because of that. But when he's been on the ice, he's been really great for us. He's shown pretty good chemistry with Connor, which is great to see. And, I don't think, again, Bertuzzi and him are both guys that they're probably here for the short term. They're not long term solutions. They're kind of stopgaps until some of the other guys develop. But They both played well this year, and you just have to grade them based on what you see. So I think A tier is fair for both of them. Frank Nazar is also going to go into A tier. I know he's been a little cold the last couple of games, and obviously he was hurt before that because of fucking Calgary. But anyway, for the most part, Frank has been great. His speed, he's a great two-way player already. Um, I think he's got a pretty high ceiling. I think this is just kind of ground level with him. I think he still has a lot more to give and to grow into. But he's already a very good player for the Blackhawks, and he's paying off in spades. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put Alex Vlasic in B tier. He's just been solid. He's not the most exciting player to watch on most nights, but whenever he's on the ice, you just feel kind of safe and secure. He's a good stay-at-home defenseman. He does have like a little bit of offensive upside. Like he is a decent passer. I wish he would kind of use his slap shot a little bit more because I feel like it could be very good if he worked on it. He is a very big dude. So we'll see how he continues to develop offensively, but still, I think he's been solid B tier. He's a very good defenseman, defensive defenseman, whatever you want to say. So I think B tier is fair. Levshinov is also going to go into B tier. Levshinov has surprised me a lot this year. I was kind of in the camp of he should be in Rockford this year, but he's been playing really good. Like I think he was leading all rookies in like assist, which was completely unexpected, especially with Demidov in Montreal and stuff like that. Everybody figured he was going to kind of run away with all the rookie scoring, and he wasn't going to be competing with a Belarusian defenseman for it. But Levshinov, he's been very good. We're still waiting on that first goal, and you could tell that he's yearning for it because there's sometimes in games where I'm just like, dude, you should just make the simple play. And he's like skating it all the way fucking around the ice looking for an open shot, and it just doesn't show up, or he kind of whiffs on it, or the goalie makes a great save. But the goal will come, and he will score a lot more goals in his career. He's got that ability in him. You could just tell he has that kind of mindset. Uh, Obviously, Levshinov, he still has what are referred to as arty moments where he just does something so fucking dumb or makes a, and you just have to kind of see it to believe it. But those moments are starting to happen less and less frequently. He's becoming more comfortable and he's making some really good plays out on the ice. So definitely, I think B tier is fair for him. Uh, Arvid Soderblom is going in D tier. Obviously, the other night against Buffalo, he got shelled. It wasn't all his fault, obviously, but at a certain point, it is kind of like, dude, come on, make at least. You can make one spectacular save and help yourself out a little bit, maybe get some momentum going. But obviously, the Buffalo game, not his fault. I wish he could have made one or two saves, but he's just kind of Soderblom. Like, he's a below average backup in the NHL, and that's just kind of what you get. Some nights, like, I think he had one game where he had like 30 or almost 40 saves, but then he'll have nights like the Buffalo game where he just lays an egg. So, like, he's just a very inconsistent, streaky goalie, and that's kind of the worst thing you can be as a goalie is inconsistent. So I don't really know. I just think he's kind of average. I don't really see him being a long-term player here, especially with Comesso in the system, and we have that Russian kid, and Gagent's been good at Duluth this year, so you never know. I don't see him really being a key part of the Blackhawks' future. I think there's guys who are going to pass him in the system. Also, Laurent Brossois has started practicing again, or started skating at least, so who knows if he'll even make it to the end of the year at this point. He might just get traded or waived or something. I don't know. But, I'm still rooting for him. I'd like for him to maybe be like a decent backup somewhere else because he seems like a decent guy. But I don't think he really has a future with the team anymore. Colton Dock, we are going to go ahead and put him in C tier. There's not really a ton to say about Colton Dock. Like, he's played well for the most part, but he doesn't really do anything that's that, like, exciting or spectacular. Like, he's kind of just a guy that he's a bottom six NHL player. Like, that's what his role in the future is going to be for whatever, if it's with the Blackhawks or somewhere else. And there's nothing wrong with being that. He's just been kind of average, so I think C tier is fair. Connor Murphy is going in D tier. I cannot wait for Connor Murphy to not be on my hockey team anymore. I think it's almost like just fatigue at this point. Like we've had him for like I think almost 10 years now, and I'm just kind of done with it. Like we have better young defensemen than Connor Murphy in the system. They could be playing ahead of him, but he's still just kind of here until either the trade deadline or the end of the year. Nothing against him personally. I'm just kind of done with the Connor Murphy experience in Chicago. I think a lot of people feel that way, and yeah, I think we're coming to the end pretty soon with Connor Murphy. Next up, Ilya Mikheyev. He's going in A tier, which I think might surprise a few people, but he has been one of the best defensive forwards in the NHL. I'm kind of conflicted with what they should do with him. I think it kind of depends on the team's record once we get closer to the middle of the year or towards the deadline. Because I'm not completely against like re-signing him. Like for me, if he's willing to take like a Ryan Donato type of contract, like you keep him. You keep him because he is a player that he's very flexible what he can do for you. He could play in the middle six, he could play in the bottom six. If you really need him to, he could play top 6 minutes and be like a defensive specialist checking forward in the top six. He's a good skater. He plays great defense. I really like Ilya Mikheyev. I hope. I'm honestly. I think I'm in the camp of I hope we keep him after this year. I wasn't like that with Donato last year. I'm definitely with it with Mikheyev this year. I just think Mikheyev's game is more sustainable than Donato's. Jason Dickinson, we are going to go ahead and put him in C tier. This is honestly a kind of a generous C tier. I'm kind of leaning on the fact that he's been hurt a lot, and in the games he's played, he's been okay. Um, he's a defensive forward. He's not going to put up points or do a ton on the offensive end. But I think this is again, it's kind of similar to Murphy, except without the longevity. I think this is probably Dickinson's last year as a Blackhawk. Uh, I don't know if he's going to get traded necessarily. I don't think he really has any value right now. I think we kind of missed the boat on selling him. But he was a solid Blackhawk the last few years in a era that was very bad. But I think he's an okay player. I think he'll have an NHL career after this year. I think C tier is fair for him. I hope he's able to stay healthy the rest of the year, but we'll see. Slaggert is going to go in D tier, and I'm pretty disappointed by Slaggert this season. Obviously, they already sent him down to the Rockford Ice Hogs already. He's just had a bad start. He's back with the team now. He's kind of serving as like the extra forward, the healthy scratch when guys are healthy, or he's like the last forward in the lineup. um, just a bad start. And Swagger, unfortunately, he's not a guy that can really afford to have like those slumps and stuff because he's just not that important to the organization's future. Like, he's a guy, he's kind of like Colton Dock, where his ceiling is basically bottom six player. Like, on a contending team, that's what he would have to strive for. He would have to be a bottom six player, defensive specialist, good skater, good forechecker. And he just kind of hasn't impressed at all this season. Um, his speed is still there, but he isn't really utilizing it well. I don't know if it's maybe an issue with Blashill's system. But yeah, Swagger has just not been very good. I could see him definitely turning it around though. Um, but I it hasn't been good so far. I think D tier is the best you can really give him. Louis Crevier is going to go into B tier. He's been a very surprising player. Like, obviously they drafted him in the seventh round, and it was just like, oh, well, he's 6'8", so maybe he can be like a guy in Rockford at some point. But he's kind of turned himself into like a really nice, like bottom pair defenseman, seventh defenseman, and it's like, he might actually be one of the guys to kind of like stick around, like for a good amount of time. Like, he's got a phenomenal slap shot as he's shown this year, but Corbier just he's very good at just making the simple plays very well. He doesn't try and make like any spectacular moves or spectacular plays because I think he's a very smart player. Like he realizes that he has limited skills and he's very smart and he knows like what he's at doing. And he just does those things well and there's nothing wrong with that. That's just being a smart hockey player. So Louis Crevier, you get a B for to start your season. We'll see if you can keep it up the whole year. Matt Grizzlick, he is going to go into C tier. Uh, he's been solid. I mean, they signed him on a PTO. Um, yeah, he's just been solid. He's been a big improvement on fucking like the TJ Brody's and Jared Tenorti's, Jacob Megnas that we've had the last couple of years in terms of like veteran defensemen filling a spot on the roster. He's just been a solid player. Nothing really more to say about him. Foligno's also going to go into C tier. Shout out to his daughter for being okay. I hope she's doing good in her recovery and everything. Obviously, Foligno he's going to miss like the next month or I think 3 weeks as I'm recording this video. What the fuck? Sorry about that. Uh, anyway, like I was saying, so Foligno, he's going to miss like the next month of the season due to injury and stuff, but I think just C tier, like he's still doing what we expected him to do. Like he's not a very effective hockey player, but he's a good leader on and off the ice. He's willing to stand up for his teammates. Like that's fine for especially this year since he's playing like third or fourth line minutes most nights when he was healthy. So I'm fine with putting him in C tier. He's just kind of doing what you expect him to do. Oliver Moore is going to go into B tier. I don't know really like if the Blackhawks get healthy, if Oliver Moore is going to be sticking around. I think there's still some things I would like to see him work on in the AHL before he like permanently comes up. Mostly it has to do with decision making. He's got like this really annoying problem of he shoots when he should pass and he passes when he should shoot, or he tries to like skate around like three defense. Like there was an overtime period. I want to say like 2 weeks ago, and he just basically tried to take on a whole team like 1 versus 3, and he turned the puck over, and it's like that's just bad decision making. Like overtime 3v3 hockey, the whole point of it is you just hold on to the puck until the other team is stupid and gives you a breakaway, and he was trying to skate it through 3 guys. So he still has some things to learn, like in terms of IQ and stuff, but the skating is there. He does have some creativity. Um, I think the two-way game is there as well for the most part. Like I said, I think he's going to be a very good player. I think he still does have a few things he could work on in terms of decision making, but I think B is pretty fair for that. Like, I just think that's a good spot to put him. Ryan Donato, we're going to put into C tier. Yeah, he's just I mean, he's been good. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think he's got 7 goals and 5 assists and stuff, 12 points, 22 games. Like, that's nothing to sneeze at. But, he's just kind of. I don't know. I just don't know how to basically put him. Like, he's like Ilya Mikheyev, except a little bit better on offense, but also not as good on defense. I think it's fair to say. Like, I think C. This is just kind of what I expected of him. I think C is kind of where he belongs for this current Blackhawks group. Ryan Green is going to go into B tier. I was debating put him in A tier, but I think B is fair. Um, he's surprised a lot of people this year. Like it was kind of between out of training camp. It was between him and Moore for like the last spot on the roster. Green won it, and then he basically worked his way up from like third, fourth liner to playing on Connor's wing a lot of the time now. Um, I don't think that's going to be a role that he's going to be in for really much of the season or much of his career, unless there's like injuries and stuff like there is right now. But he's done pretty well with those minutes. The finishing is not great. He does tend to miss like a sitter like once or twice a game, but he works hard. He gets into those positions, which a lot of players last year couldn't even be bothered to do. I think he's a guy who definitely has a good NHL future, maybe like as a middle six forward center. Um, Yeah, I just think he's a pretty solid player. Sam Lafferty's going to go in D tier just because he doesn't play unless other people are hurt. Um, yeah, he's just kind of a extra body on the roster. That's all I got to say about Sam Lafferty. He did have one really good game though, so shout out Sam Lafferty for that one good game. Sam Renzel is going to go into C tier. Do not panic. This is not what I think of him as a player long term. This is just to start this season. Um, he has just been kind of average. Uh, he's had like again. I think this is kind of like more. A lot of it is just decision making, and that's something that you can get better with in time. It's not really due to talent. Like he kind of pinches sometimes when he should be holding the line, and vice versa, or he'll try to like force a stupid pass. They'll create a turnover and give the other team like a odd man rush and stuff. So I think it's just mental aspects he kind of has to work on. I think not playing at all in the NHL, or sorry, not in the NHL, in the AHL, I think that has something to do with it just coming straight up from the NCAA and basically being told, yep, you're the top pair or middle pair defenseman. Good luck. But I think he will do fine. I think he'll continue to get better as the year goes on, and I think he's already starting to kind of turn the corner. But I'm just grading him based on the first 20 games of the season. Like if I do this again halfway through the season, this list could be completely different for the most part. Like these guys could fall, some of these guys could rise up. I think these two would hopefully stay in S tier, but we'll see. So last two guys, we got Tavo Teravainen. We also have Wyatt Kaiser. Tavo is going to go into. Let me see where I put him on my notes. Okay, he's going to go into C tier. And then Wyatt Kaiser is going to go into also C tier. So that's going to round it up. Uh, Tavo is just. He's kind of been kind of streaky this year. There's some games where he plays really good. There's some games where he doesn't make an impact at all. That's just kind of how his Blackhawks tenure has kind of been the second time around. But he's still, I think, like a better than average NHL player on his day. He just doesn't have his day as often anymore. But still a pretty solid player. Wyatt Kaiser, I was kind of debating between C and B. Um, he's been really good as Levshinov's partner because he's very smart and knows how to cover for Levshinov. But he just hasn't really done anything spectacular himself. Like I think playing with someone like Lev, who's can create offense and can like isn't afraid to drive the puck. I think that helps a guy like Kaiser, who's kind of more falling into that like sit back, stay at home kind of defenseman. But still, I think he's been solid in that kind of role. I think he's also like a pretty good player for the Hawks long term. So anyway, that's how this list is going to shape up. So Bedard, Spencer Knight, S tier. I think that's fair for the quarterway mark of the season. Bertuzzi, Burakovsky, Nazar, Mikheyev. Then in B tier we have Vlasic, we have Levshinov, Crevier, Oliver Moore, Ryan Green, Colton Dog, Jason Dickinson, Matt Grzelcyk, Nick Foligno, Ryan Donato, Sam Renzel, Tavo Teravainen, Wyatt Kaiser, and then in D tier, Arvid Soderblom, Connor Murphy, Landon Slaggert, and Sam Lafferty round off our list. I just want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Um, Also, leave in the comments if you disagree with any of my rankings, where would you put guys? I'm also going to make this tier list public so that you guys can make your own if you want. But once again, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a good day. I hope you check out all Don's articles and everything on Draft Pros. I hope you check out my stuff on Draft Pros. And have a good day. Bye-bye.